is a tornado warning.
To expect. So again, that's a live look at that squall line coming through Winfield up in southern Marion County in northwest Alabama. So let's go back to the radar. And again, we're looking at the line itself coming into Walker, Winston, Marion. This is the town of Brilliant here. That's Interstate 22. And again, Winfield is here. Most likely the camera is somewhere in this vicinity here. That's Alabama 129. That's the main exit people use to get down to Winfield. But the storm is on through Guin. And again, you still got some light rain and it's still windy, but in terms of the severe weather threat, it's over for Guin, it's over for Hamilton, it is over for Sulligent, it's over for Vernon. And again, that line is coming through Haleyville right now. It's going to be in Double Springs in about 5 to 10 minutes. It'll be in Carbon Hill and Eldridge, Kansas, here in Walker County in about, again, 5 to 10 minutes. It will be in Fayette very soon. We'll go down to the south. Again, it's coming into Fayette as we speak. The line is coming through Kennedy and Millport, and it's coming right into Reform in Pickens County. The intense part of this line will last for about 15 minutes, and that's it. You'll have a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and then everything slows down and the winds shift and you're done with it. The line extends down to Pickensville in Pickens County and then over into Mississippi. And again, we've got that tornado warning polygon that is north of Interstate 20. The signature here is weakened a good bit. This is Sumter County, Alabama, and of course we'll watch this segment here very carefully. The air is more unstable down to the south. That's the one thing that's really helping us tonight. There's hardly any surface-based instability over the northern half of the state. The wind dynamics are overcoming that, but if we had an unstable air mass, it would be a bigger problem tonight. But again, we'll keep a close eye on that. Again, I'm just having a hard time seeing a whole lot of reports other than scattered trees down, which is a good thing.
Yeah, same. I was looking back at some of the storms that went through Philadelphia, Mississippi, that cell you were talking about. And it looks like they're slowly starting to come in. Again, this is the Jackson office, so I'm going to switch on over to that information here. But it looks like there were a couple areas in Neshoba County near Highway 19 and County Road 448. So that's just to the south of Philadelphia. And that just shows that there was at least some gust of wind with this. No confirmed tornado reports with that. I mentioned those reports that came in out of Starkville, Mississippi as well. The parts of that line are now moving through Fayette, Alabama. I'm going to do a couple, well, actually, before we do that, I was thinking we'll check on these power outages because this could tell us also, you know, what's coming down. Is there strong enough winds to have power outages? So this is a look at the latest power outage map here, and I'll pixel query a couple of these counties. About 1,500 without power in Lamar, 600 in Pickens County, 100 in Tuscaloosa. Believe it or not, that 500 in Jefferson County, that's going to be from our gradient winds earlier today if there's outages because of the wind. So, you know, that just tells you before.
Let me share one good report here, Evan. Yep. Got a report. The storm just came through Haleyville. The winds are strong, but they don't feel severe. The lights are on, and I have no new trampolines in the yard.
No state birds.
No state bird, and that's a good thing. And again, I'm getting a lot of reports like that. I didn't mean to interrupt, but that's the kind of wind we're seeing. And I am noticing some outages, and it matches up nicely with the map that you're showing there. 1,500 in Lamar.
Yeah, and when you think about these come through, if you had a much stronger winds, you'd see a lot higher numbers with this. So that is certainly good to see. None yet in Fayette, but this will be something that we watch here very closely because this also can be telling of how strong those winds are. If you see a huge spike in power outages, you probably had a strong gust come through there at some point. So
we got a warning now for Tuscaloosa and Jefferson.
Yep.
So we'll pop on the radar very quickly. So again, your weather, I'm sorry, not Jefferson, but Tuscaloosa and Walker. Not Jefferson yet. So again, the new warnings, all of Tuscaloosa and all of Walker under a severe thunderstorm warning. The storms are still about 30, 40 minutes away from Tuscaloosa, but this will give you time to prepare for that. So again, the Weather Service in Birmingham posting severe thunderstorm warnings in effect now for Walker and for Tuscaloosa counties for the line of storms that is now running from near Fayette down to Reform and Pickensville. That extends up into the Tennessee Valley, and the main concern, damaging straight line winds. We see no evidence of any spin-up tornadoes in this segment of the line, which is a good thing. But again, if a tree comes down in your house, if it's straight line winds, is it a tornado? Does it really matter what causes it? Not really. So again, you can see evidence suggesting the line itself comes into Tuscaloosa shortly after 12:30, but you got plenty of time to plan on that. And again, if you have trees all around your house that might fall on your house, you might consider this like a tornado warning and get everybody into a safe place until this thing passes. It's going to take about 15 minutes. It'll come, it will go very quickly. Line coming through Fayette, the line coming through Hubbardsville, and then up into Winston County. The line is coming into Double Springs. And again, the report from Haleyville said the winds were not that bad. Some reports indicate the winds are relatively high, but high winds to different people, that means different things. For some people, it's 25 miles an hour. For some people, it's 100 miles an hour. But it just seems like from the reports, the winds are running in the 40, 45 mile per hour bracket for most of the line.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. This is David Dutton. Good morning. This is David Dutton and the Stormwatch America's Command Center. We are live just before 1 a.m. with continuing overnight coverage of severe weather in the southeast and across metro Atlanta. Right now we have tornado warnings in effect in Alabama. Let's go straight over to James Spann at ABC 3340 with continuing coverage.
Again, that's going to be fairly close to Decatur, so I would stay sheltered up there. And again, up on the northern side, the other great concern is this one right here that's located just to the west of the city of Elkmont. And again, this is in Limestone. In fact, let me go to the Huntsville Weather Service radar, which probably gives us a better look at that. And let's take a look at that. And again, same kind of thing. You can clearly see potential for trouble right in there to the west of Elkmont. And then down to the south, we have the other sign of circulation not too far from Hillsboro. And so that's the reason for the polygons there. So let's pop back on the Barron system. We're live at 11:51. And down to the south of the Tennessee Valley, severe thunderstorm warnings for everybody in advance of this line. All of Winston, all of Walker, all of Tuscaloosa, all of Fayette, all of Pickens. And now we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for all of Greene and all of Sumter. And again, this is radically different. The polygon system was designed for tornadoes. Tornadoes are small, counties are big. The whole county doesn't need to do anything for most tornado situations. And so instead of warning an entire county, you warn a small part of the county. Respect the polygon. That's where that whole thing came from. But in a situation like this, with the long squall line, it's different. The entire length of this thing has the potential to produce strong straight line winds. I can't call out a Walmart, a barn, a barbecue joint, a lounge. I can't do that because everybody is going to be affected here. So Evan is giving some approximate arrival times. Demopolis 12:44, Utah 12:27, Tuscaloosa about 12:30, and again, Jasper about 12:21. It'll be coming on through Birmingham closer to 1 o'clock this morning. And again, it's going to be about 15 minutes. There you go, about 1:07 for Birmingham. It's going to take about 15 minutes for this thing to pass through. And during that 15-minute stretch, you're going to see some strong winds. And again, evidence so far is suggesting the winds are generally in the 40, 45 mile per hour bracket in through here, enough to knock down some trees, cause some power outages. And understand there will be segments in here where there could be winds exceeding 50 miles an hour. And also, through the night, there might be a brief isolated tornado. We don't expect that to be the main problem, never did, and it will not be the main problem. I know there's a tornado watch until 4 a.m. That's for the chance of maybe an isolated tornado, but the bigger concern is the damaging straight line winds that will be coming through the state. And again, it will ultimately reach Anniston, Gadsden after probably maybe 2:30 a.m., something like that, and then clearing the southeastern corner of the state by 5 or 6 o'clock. We have one report from ham radio indicating a tree on a house near Southside Baptist Church in Fayette. And that's the greatest concern, a tree coming down on a house. And that could get somebody hurt very quickly. And that's the reason we're making the recommendation that if you have trees on your property near your house, the best thing to do might be just to treat this like a tornado warning. Put on a helmet, small room, lowest floor, near the center. Also got a report of a tree down in Rimlap, and that's gradient winds. That's not related to the storms. That's just the strong pressure gradient winds out ahead of that. But again, the latest report, ham radio indicating a possible tree on a house near Southside Baptist Church in Fayette. The is en route there to determine if anybody, we certainly hope that's what we need tonight.
No, we don't need any. That's the thing. We go through these, and you get these damage reports, but you never want to hear of any injuries. Certainly, no fatalities. And so, the good news with this is we have a pretty good idea of how fast this line's moving. It's moving about 45, in some cases 50 miles an hour. So it's moving very quickly, which has its pros and cons, right? It'll get up, on your neighborhood, where you live very quickly, but it also moves through fairly quickly. I mean, we've already seen this just a few minutes ago. It felt like Fayette, I was tracking a time on it, and now it's clear of downtown Fayette. At least the worst part is headed towards Barry. So I'll do a couple storm tracks. I'll start to the north here, and up near Double Springs, we've got the lead edge of this line basically bearing down on Double Springs. So let's do a time of arrival over towards Cullman. That's going to be here within the next about 30 minutes or so. Let's go Lynn to about the Hayden area here. And again, these might fluctuate by a couple minutes, but it looks like at about 1 a.m. there. And then what's coming just south of Carbon Hill, I'm basically drawing this up to I-65 here to give you an idea for folks who live along that corridor, about 1 o'clock there as well. So let's pan a little bit further down to the south. And again, what's coming through Fayette. Decent amount of lightning strikes with that. And there have been a couple reports of trees down, but I'm surprised in a good way that we're not seeing as many reports so far within this line. Over towards Hueytown with what's coming through southern Fayette County about 1 a.m. Just to the south of Reform, eventually be moving through central Tuscaloosa County. Let's put it at over near Lakeview by about 1 o'clock. And let's do another one here near Carrollton, because that's going to be coming into Tuscaloosa. That's been pretty consistent, right around 12:30, 12:34 for the Tuscaloosa County area. So if you're looking at arrival times for Birmingham, that's going to be a little bit after 1 a.m. Just to the north of Birmingham, due to the slant of the line, because it is oriented from northeast to southwest, it'll be getting to northern Jefferson County a little bit sooner, and areas up I-65 closer to Cullman a little sooner than that. So we'll be watching this and tracking this, but the good news is there's been no sign of any rotation embedded within this line. That's what we said one of the underlying threats could be, is those eddies that'll form in the line. When you have a very dynamic wind system, as we do here, that's something you have to look for, and it can come in very quick. And the folks at the National Weather Service office in Birmingham are excellent. That's why we don't get too concerned that that'll be overlooked, because they're just very good at realizing or seeing those things come up, those spin-ups come up, and warning. But all along this line, I don't see any eddies, no concerns within this line. I want to check on the outages here. We're keeping an eye on the power outage map, because that can be another indicator that we're seeing strong winds based off of how many outages there are. So we'll go county by county here. Pickens County now reporting 1,000 outages, so that's up a good bit from just a little while ago. Tuscaloosa County, again, the line's not quite there yet. Fayette County, there were no outages reported about 15 minutes ago. That up to 300, up to 2,000 now in Lamar County. So those numbers starting to creep up just a little bit in the wake of this line. And as we look at other parts of northern Alabama here, including Marion County, about 900 outages there, 400 in Winston County, and 200 in Walker. So starting to see those numbers come up some. We'll continue to watch this here, especially as it gets closer to the Birmingham Metro here over the next about hour or so.
Let's go to WEX 05 real quick. I want to show Evan, this is what's going, let's take it full screen. This is what's going, look at it here. Tree came into a house. This is just north of Wheeler Dam up in Lauderdale County. And again, I was just up there the other day speaking, and that's what we're concerned about. A tree came through, looks like somebody's bedroom there. And again, we've heard of nobody injured from that, but that's an example of what these things are doing tonight. Here's another big tree down. These are big tree limbs and parts of trees that have come down. All of these were within that line of storms over the past 15 minutes. And don't you know it, look what's flying. Alabama state bird on the move.
Oh, no.
You know that was going to happen. That was going to be a problem. This is a fire that was set in a yard here because of arcing power lines that came down. I want to say that was up in Marion County tonight. But again, scenes like this are very common. And again, the reports, because it's dark and takes a while, it takes a bit for the reports to come in. But again, all these photographs were taken or sent to me via social media earlier this evening. Again, and the other concern we have, it's trees coming down onto roads like this. If you're driving on a dark country road, you don't know around the bend if there's a tree down, and you can come up on those very quickly, and bad accidents can occur with that. And again, there's some more damage to a utility box to a home up in northwest Alabama this evening. Look, a pretty good tree has come down there. I want to say that was because of gradient winds. And look at this. This is a tree on top of a car. And again, that's another reason you certainly do not want to be driving tonight. All of these images taken within the past 15 to 30 minutes in advance of that line. So the line is indeed packing a punch, and certainly all these warnings are warranted. So let's go back to the big picture. And again, if you're just joining us, we're live on the air here at 12 midnight. James Spann, Evan Chikvera, and we have a tornado watch for basically most of the state until 4 a.m. Again, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for most all of Winston, Walker, Tuscaloosa, most of Fayette, southeastern Lamar, the eastern part of Pickett, Greene, all of Sumter counties in advance of the line. We have tornado warnings in effect now for parts of Madison here. The Weather Service has extended the tornado warning up in the Tennessee Valley to include now parts of Madison County. It looks that as they have done that here in the last few moments, and this is going to be most likely for the northern part of Madison, north of Huntsville. There's the southern part of the polygon, and you can see it clips the city of Huntsville, but the greatest concern is going to be up here near the Alabama-Tennessee state line. US 231 Hazel Green is located right here, and again, we have evidence of rotation near Elkmont, the greatest here, and that'll be coming out across extreme northern Limestone, extreme northern Madison counties. So again, the Weather Service in Huntsville posting tornado warnings in effect. And again, we've still got the southern warning in effect down here for a small part of northern Morgan that includes the cities of Decatur, Trinity, and Priceville for a possible tornadic circulation there. But we're still looking at Columbus.
Yeah, we switched over to high top.
Okay, so this is the closest radar into that. So again, you should be sheltered in northern Madison County, really north of the city of Huntsville. And we'll see how the circulation plays out. It has faded. I will say the tornadic circulation approaching Trinity and Decatur, it looks a lot weaker now than it did 5-10 minutes ago. So if that trend continues, the Weather Service might let that one go completely. But remember, everybody will see the chance of damaging straight line winds with this line of storms coming through. But the northern circulation is near Elkmont. I will say there's a secondary. Let's put WEXO 5 on here real quick. I want to show this. This is a different look. We have a possible tornadic circulation that's just southwest of Athens, and we have one that's up on the Alabama-Tennessee state line that's near Elkmont approaching Ardmore. Ardmore, Alabama-Tennessee is right here. This is Elkmont, Alabama. Circulation number 1, circulation number 2. So again, if you're in these polygons, just stay sheltered. And I know it's inconvenient on a Saturday night at midnight. This is not the way to spend a Saturday night, but it is what it is. This is tornado season in Alabama, November through May. Having something like this is not that unusual this time of the year. So again, possible tornadic circulations near Elkmont in Limestone County and just to the south. Approaching the Trinity is fading. Just don't see much there at this point. Let's go back to box, our weather graph system, and let me the line up here. And again, you can see that line running from the Alabama-Tennessee state line on Ardmore, curving down to near Decatur. Then it curves down into Winston County right on top of Double Springs and Addison. Curves down into far western Walker County around Eldridge and Carbon Hill. Down to Berry and Fayette County in the southeastern part of Fayette County. Down to Gordo and Pickens County.
This is a tornado warning.
Mississippi. And again, we see no evidence of tornadoes below the Tennessee Valley. This is all damaging straight line wind. And you see from the images we've shown here, we've got a lot of things going on here in terms of trees down. We've had a tree on a house in multiple situations tonight. And you might want to consider taking these just like a tornado warning. In that we've had a lot of reports of damage from trees coming down tonight. Let's take WEXO 5 real quick if we can. Just wanted to show some more video of what things are looking like. This is the line coming through the shoals. Earlier tonight when it came through Florence, is what you're when the line comes through your neighborhood tonight. Winds could exceed 40, 50 miles an hour. You could see trees down. You could see power outages, and that is a common scene across the state tonight. So again, that's video of what it's like in the Shoals earlier tonight. Let's look at the video we have on over here. We've got Ebony, and this is from where?
It's Haleyville, I believe.
Okay. That's up in Winston County earlier tonight. And the good news we have is that the power's on, which is always a good thing. But again, that's what it looks like there. Let's go back to WEXO 5 full screen. And again, this is the problem. You've got these big trees coming down on objects like cars and homes tonight. And we've just got there's a utility box that was apparently ripped off. And remember, if you're driving tonight, you might have a downed tree on a road that you don't see before you come right up on it. And that can certainly lead to some pretty severe accidents here. But again, it's been that kind of a night across Alabama. Again, this is a home that was up in Elgin, up in the Tennessee Valley. This is just north of Wheeler Dam. And again, I was up at Brooks and Killen. I went right through there the other day, but that's pretty scary stuff. If you're in a bedroom like that and a tree comes down through a window, it could easily cause some injuries. And I will say I've heard of no injuries from this stuff, Evan, but it's been a rough night so far.
Yeah, no injuries just yet, but again, sometimes this takes some time. It's nighttime, so the damage reports might start coming in a little bit later here. I've just been scanning, and back in Mississippi, we're seeing the damage reports come in about 15, 20, all the way up to a half hour after the line moves through. So we'll keep a close eye on that. No additional reports outside of what we had said here in central Alabama. Looks like there's a power outage from a tower cam in North Sumter County, centered on Geiger. So that's another indication.
Continuing our severe weather coverage now, we're watching this new tornado warning in the Huntsville, Alabama area. And we want to look down into the storm, and you see that this circulation Let me take ABC 3340 off for a moment. I apologize about that. This circulation is right along the Alabama-Tennessee state line near Ardmore. You can see it right in here. Just to the northwest of Ardmore, and it's moving off to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. These storms are hauling it tonight, so you will not have much time once you get a warning to seek shelter. Again, moving into the between Elkton and Ardmore now in Tennessee. Also, another low circulation is developing near Highway 53. This is the southeast of Ardmore. That will be moving into Cedar Hill in one moment. Then in Taft and southern Tennessee, south of Cache Point, Tennessee, here in the next few minutes. So if you're along the Alabama-Tennessee state line, northwest of Hazel Green, Alabama, you need to be seeking shelter. There's a large tornado warning here for southern Tennessee and northern Alabama. This is in the Huntsville area. Huntsville is actually in the tornado warning as well. There's Huntsville. There may be a little notch circulation there right around the Athens area, right in here, and this would head toward the Merandonville area, just north of Huntsville, here over the next several minutes. Lots of lightning with these storms this morning. Again, we're live on a Sunday morning, 1:10 a.m. Eastern Time. It's just after midnight in Alabama. We have a tornado watch in effect for Alabama, most of the state really, until 4 a.m. Central. I'm expecting that to be expanded into northern Georgia here soon. It's certainly possible. We have a tornado warning that's just been issued now. This is just coming in. Let's go to this.
This is a tornado warning.
And we have a new tornado warning now for Washington Parish and Whitehall counties in Mississippi. That's Washington Parish, Louisiana, and Walthall County, Mississippi, until 12:30 Central. A severe thunderstorm was near Sandy Hook, moving to the northeast at 50. So again, these are moving very quickly to the north, to the east northeast, and most along this line of thunderstorms really stretches um, across a good chunk of the southeast this evening, basically from southern Tennessee all the way down into all the way down to the Gulf Coast into Louisiana there, where we have special weather statements and that small tornado warning here to the north of New Orleans. And again, this is moving off to the northeast around 50 miles per hour. We're continuing with a tornado warning in Jackson County, Alabama, along with Madison, Limestone, and Lawrence counties in Alabama, and Moore County, Lincoln County, and Franklin County in Tennessee until 12:45 a.m. Let's go back up here to the storms along this entire line down through here, across most of north and central Alabama. This line is severe. These are all the darker yellow boxes are the severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's go to this one. This is a considerable, very dangerous severe thunderstorm warning now. Winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. Treat this as a tornado, a considerable damage threat, 70 mile per hour wind, severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 1 a.m. for Walker and Tuscaloosa counties. Severe thunderstorms extend along the line near Jasper to Manitoua, moving east at 55, 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Expect considerable tree damage. Damage is likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. Some of the locations in the path of this very dangerous storm include Tuscaloosa, McFarland Mall, Samantha, West Jefferson, and the Tuscaloosa Airport. Again, a considerable threat, 70 mile per hour wind, severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for the Tuscaloosa area at this time. Treat this as a tornado warning. Go to the center part of your house away from windows. That is a very dangerous severe thunderstorm warning. When you get those severe thunderstorm warnings greater than, we should treat all warnings the same really, but when they get very dangerous right there with 70 mile per hour winds or greater, you should treat those as tornado warnings. Go to a basement if you have one, or the center part of your house. Now we have a new tornado warning coming in from the National Weather Service in Jackson, Mississippi.
This is a tornado warning.
And this is a new tornado warning now for Marion County in Mississippi and Lamar County in Mississippi until 1:15 Central. A line of severe thunderstorms capable of producing tornadoes was near Sandy Hook to Bogles, moving to the, I think I'm pronouncing that wrong, to the northeast at 40. This is headed toward Baxterville, Pine Ridge, and Purvis between now and 12:40. So again, if you're just joining us, just in from the National Weather Service, new tornado warning for Marion and Lamar counties in Mississippi until 1:15 Central, about another hour. I'm going to go over here to the, you're watching continuing live coverage this morning on Stormwatch America, a part of Channel 1 America. I'm David Dutton in the command center here in Atlanta. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll be here all night to keep you through the storm. as the storms rumble across the southeast. Very dangerous at this hour in Alabama with tornado warnings and considerable threat, severe thunderstorm warnings. Going to go over here to the National Weather, the Storm Prediction Center, rather, and see if we have an update on or a mesoscale discussion to see if we're going to get the possibility of this tornado watch. It would happen soon if it's going to happen here in Georgia, and I believe it will. And it's talking about the latest one was at 12:40 Central Time, and it was talking about the 12:40 Eastern Time, rather, and it was talking about the greatest severe weather risk over the next few hours across northern and west central Alabama. So we're still dealing with the weather in Alabama right now, but again, as this gets closer to Georgia, we will more than likely see a tornado watch issued that will include the Atlanta area. One thing we are seeing, though, is a lot of power outages back into northwest and west central Alabama right now as a result of the storms. That tells me two things: the wind knocked down the power poles, or the wind knocked down trees that ran into the power poles. So again, especially in these areas where you get these considerable wind threats, there's a likelihood of a lot of trees down in these areas, in the Birmingham area, in Tuscaloosa and Walker counties. We're still talking about the 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the Tuscaloosa area. And this just came out a few moments ago. A considerable severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 1 a.m. Central for Walker and Tuscaloosa counties. The storm is extending from around the Jasper area, moving east at 55. So the forward motion is at 55 miles per hour. That tells me that you're at least going to get 55 mile per hour winds, and they could gust or be sustained around anywhere from 55 to 70 miles per hour. So again, a very dangerous storm here in the Tuscaloosa area. You need to take shelter in the center part of your house, away from windows. If you know someone in this area that may be asleep and may not be watching this broadcast, or know anything about the weather right now, you may need to call them and tell them, hey, there's a very dangerous storm coming through Tuscaloosa County in Alabama right now. And it'd be over and done with in just moments, but it could leave some trees and power lines coming down. So I believe the biggest threat on this line is going to be the damaging wind threat, but we could have some spin-ups along the line as well as it moves through Alabama here over the next several hours. I'm expecting it to move into metro Atlanta between around 3:30 and 6:30. So we will continue to watch this throughout the night and give you continuing updates. Right now we're going to switch back over to ABC 3340 over in the Birmingham area if we can, as our coverage continues.
And Mooresville, that warning is expired. It's gone. This tornado signature is gone. We have a tornado warning in effect now for northern Madison County. Let's just say that I-65 will give you an all clear in Limestone County. For Athens, the danger is over. For Decatur, the danger is over. Let's go to our velocity display coming from the Huntsville high top radar. And again, we're watching a couple of no doubt there's some very strong winds within this line, but we're kind of watching this spot right down here that could be a potential tornado north of US 72, and that'll be coming northeast, probably passing north of downtown Huntsville, a bit north of Madison. And again, that'll be coming out across Highway 231 here and then ultimately coming out into Tennessee. But the tornado warning includes northern Madison from Huntsville, I-565 north. If you're south of I-65, south of Huntsville, this does not include you. And again, that is a tornado warning in effect for northern Madison. But once again, we stress everybody will deal with this particular line of thunderstorms tonight. Evan, back over to you.
All right, yeah, we've been watching this evolve, and I want to just jump back down to this tornado warning. It now includes the Moundville area, so they've issued a new one here. Switch back over to, I think the Birmingham radar might have the best view of this. So this is going to be coming out of southern Pickens County and it includes the Moundville area, Knoxville, Ralph, Cypress. This is Highway 60 here as you go south into Hale County. But we'll switch on over to velocity, see if there's anything of note here. And it does appear like there's a peak in those winds here near the New Hope Church, Knoxville as well. This is right over I-20 as of up with this particular cell. We'll do a drawing as far as distance on this one. Time of arrival here, again, this is right basically where the 20 logo is. So Moundville, probably by about 12:35 or so. And then as you get a little bit closer to the Bibb County line, just to the south of Duncanville, probably about 12:55 or so. Most of these are moving at about 50, 55 miles an hour, so they're coming in quickly. So you need to act now. And like we said, we haven't had a ton of tornado warnings in the Birmingham area tonight, but we are watching this one here right near Knoxville, Alabama. This is right along I-20. It's just going to be just to the south of Ralph, just to the south of Foster's. So if you know where that is here, this is going to pass to the south of those areas. The polygon goes all the way up to just south of Inglewood. It looks like on its current trajectory, it would stay just to the south of Maxwell. This is Highway 69, so if you're familiar with that, that runs into northern Hale County, a couple of schools right there as well. And this will continue to basically hug the line, it looks like, between Tuscaloosa and northern Hale if it continues off to the east here. So we're going to have to watch this closely as it moves quickly off to the east over the next little while. But again, enough there. And we've talked about this, that the wind dynamics are there for these quick spin-ups. They'll come, they'll go. Everyone has the potential to see those damaging straight-line winds, and they can be just as devastating. One of the first severe weather events I covered, it was a straight-line wind event. People stayed outside because it wasn't a tornado warning, and ended up leveling a stage in Dothan during a concert. So this is for a particular tornado warning for parts of Hale County, southern Tuscaloosa County, and northern Greene County. So over 3 counties here for this particular cell. James?
All right, so again, we've got multiple tornado warnings in effect here. But before we even get into the tornado warnings, remember the greater damage concern, it's the widespread straight line winds with this line of storm. Understand, everybody will deal with that, everybody. Now, we're going to call out some specific spots where there could be a brief tornado here, but everybody will deal with strong straight line winds tonight. So the new warning is this one right here. And understand, this is kind of hugging the point where Greene, Tuscaloosa, Hale counties all come together. And this, for some of the legacy systems, the warning will sound in Tuscaloosa. Understand, in Tuscaloosa, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Damaging straight line winds, yes. Tornado warning, no, you are not in the tornado warning polygon. The tornado warning polygon is for the far southern part of Tuscaloosa County, the far northern part of Hale County. And again, this is for a circulation that's not too far from Knoxville and Ralph. That's along Interstate 5920 at the Tuscaloosa-Greene County line. That'll be crossing the Warrior River into extreme northern Hale. And again, Moundville is in the polygon here, but everybody's going to have strong straight line winds. But the greatest chance of a brief isolated tornado within the line will be down here south of the city of Tuscaloosa toward Knoxville, Ralph, and Moundville. The other tornado warning is down here for southern Greene County, and again, Utah is right here. It's interesting, Utah, you're not in either polygon. The northern polygon, no. Southern polygon, no. But you'll have the straight line winds, yes. But again, we have this secondary possibility of a circulation down here not too far from Livingston in Sumter County. And again, that'll be crossing the Tom Bigby right here over into southern Greene County. This does not include Marengo. So again, a possible tornado, and these are small, brief, and they're like whack-a-mole. You warn, they go away. You warn, they go away. That's the way these things are. They're cyclic, and they're very hard to warn for. This is the most challenging part of this business. On a day like April 27, 2011, anybody could issue those warnings. That was easy. This is hard. So again, tornado warning in effect for southern Sumter and extreme southern Greene. Tornado warning in effect for extreme northern Hale, northern Tuscaloosa, and extreme northeastern Greene. Let's pop back on the reflectivity. I want to go back to the long line because this is the real story. It's that long line of storms capable of producing winds. Severe thunderstorm warning. We got a severe thunderstorm warning for Morgan, for Madison. And again, there's a tornado warning north of Huntsville. That's our one tornado polygon up in the Tennessee Valley. But again, the storms begin around Fayetteville, then curving down through Huntsville, down to Hartselle, just west of Cullman, down toward Good Hope, West Point, Battleground, right on top of Smith Lake, down to a point just southeast of Jasper, down toward Sipsey and Empire and Dora. The storm's coming into Tuscaloosa as we speak. The storms extend down into Greene County. They're coming through Utah. They're coming through York and Livingston. They'll be coming into Demopolis soon. The entire length of that line, we could see strong, potentially damaging straight line winds that could exceed 40, 50 miles per hour in spots with downed trees and power lines. And again, we've had a lot of reports tonight of downed trees. And again, we are going to continue to see that. Of course, with that, we have a lot of power outages as well. Many folks are reporting power outages within the line along with those downed trees. And one consideration is just maybe treat these severe thunderstorm warnings like a tornado warning tonight if you've got trees around your house. These are the latest power outages, and again, you can see the numbers have really jumped up. For example, Fayette County now with 2,500 outages. The gradient winds in Jefferson County producing there. We've got 1,000 outages in Marion, 1,500 Lamar, 1,500 in Pickens, and all of that because obviously of those strong straight line winds tonight. But let's go back to our radar, and again, it looks like we have, and what the Weather Service is going to do, it's apparent they're going to issue severe thunderstorm warnings for the entire length of the line. So now we have, looks like Jefferson and Blount. Jefferson, Blount counties now under a severe thunderstorm warning with the line approaching the Birmingham metro. Your weather radio should be sounding. That's the reason we preach the baseline for getting a warning. It is a NOAA weather radio. Every home should have one. It will wake you up. I know you might not wake up, but when you got something like this coming in, you need to be awake and you need to go to a safer place in your home if you have trees surrounding you. If you don't have a radio, you need one. It's shocking to us how many people don't have one. Most phones, they go into a mode at night, sleep, do not disturb. You don't get notifications. Cell service can fail during a tornado emergency. You will never hear a siren during a raging storm at 3 in the morning when you're asleep. That weather radio will save your life. It is like a smoke alarm in your house for a tornado. Everybody needs one. And if you don't have one, your homework is to go get one this week. So again, these are approximate arrival times. Again, Birmingham about 1 a.m. We've got Springville about 1:13, up into Blount County, up around Straight Mountain about 1 o'clock. Shelby County, Alabaster about 1:15 to 1:30. These are approximate times, but again, that line will keep on moving to the east, and there could be, like we have now, isolated, brief spin-up tornadoes within the line, but the greatest concern, strong, potentially damaging straight line winds. And again, let's go to camera. We got Ebony up on the monitor here. This is going to be from Tuscaloosa. This is US 82 McFarland at US 43. That's Northport. All right, so this is a look at Northport. And again, that's what it looks like as the line is coming into Tuscaloosa. This is near the Northport City Hall, the municipal complex there. Very strong winds. And again, this type of wind can easily knock down some trees, especially weakened trees. And the other concern is the fact that the ground is so saturated from the rains we had earlier this week that they could come down pretty easily tonight. And we've certainly seen a lot of that, Evan, but I've heard of no injuries so far, which is good.
Yeah, no injuries, and that's the big win here, is when you can have this damage, or you can see the state bird fly, which nobody ever wants to see. But it's the no injuries that are very, very important, and that means that there's been a good warning, that people have taken heed to this. But this is coming into Tuscaloosa, as James was just talking about here. I've got our Skycam popped up. I don't see anything of note just yet where our Skycam is, but this is coming in right where 43 hits just north of downtown. This is going to be moving across Highway 82, following Highway 82 as it moves through central Tuscaloosa County here over the next short while. I'm going to go a little bit further down this line where we have the tornado warning. That circulation that was near Knoxville, just to the south of Ralph, this is continuing to move off to the east here. And again, not the greatest circulation here, but you do look at where you start to see some changes in color or some highlights in green versus lower velocities here. I would say right there, it's not a great one. Moundville, this is coming up upon you here. This is going to stay to the south of places like Foster's, Englewood. Highway 69 runs right here. If you've ever driven to Tuscaloosa to 82, you get off that exit there and you head down. There's a couple schools down just to the south of Moundville. And it appears to be the part of the line. A lot of trees in northern Hale County. One of the places that I've chased before and noted that there's a ton of pine trees. So this is the type of storm setup that'll down a lot of those trees, especially given the fact that we had a tremendous amount of rain the other day. In fact, places like Moundville saw about 2.9 inches of rain on some of their gauges the other morning, so we've had some decent rain there recently. A little bit further to the south as we go down towards Forkland, this was the other tornado warning that was in play. And again, don't see anything overly suspicious here in terms of circulations, but what have we said? That they'll pop up. They're cyclical, they'll pop up, they'll disappear, and then they're over with. But you can still have some strong gusty winds even if there is not a tornado, which we've been trying to stress here, because a lot of times you'll think, oh, gusty winds, no big deal. But gusty winds, they can do their fair share of damage too. All right, I want to go up to the further north in this line, and this is going to be what just came through Jasper. So Jasper, you're in the clear. Still raining, but the worst part of this has moved on. West Jefferson heads up. You're going to be next up for this particular spot in the line, and eventually this is going to be over in the Birmingham area here within the next little while. So as we look at some of our time arrivals here, Oak Grove, and that's about 7 minutes away. Birmingham's about 27 minutes away. Again, we've mentioned the timing into the Birmingham Metro. Downtown's going to be right at about 1 o'clock in the morning. Trussville, a little bit later than that, probably just after 1 a.m. And Vestavia Hills, as you get to the south side of Birmingham, Homewood, Vestavia Hills, eventually the Hoover area, that's going to probably be about 35 to 40 minutes based on the orientation of this line. And all of Jefferson County is in that severe thunderstorm warning, as is Cullman County. The middle of this line coming through South Vinemont. You got Good Hope here, Holly Pond, Baileyton, and this is all headed towards, this is the Blount County line here. You got Highway 278 runs right into this, and this is going to follow that 278 corridor all the way to the state line. So eventually places like Gadsden, I've had a couple people ask, say, hey, what about the Gadsden area? What about areas in Cherokee County, in Etowah County? It'll get there eventually, but the in the short term is going to next up be Blount County, and then the Birmingham Metro areas to the south of Birmingham, like Hoover, going to be a little bit later than that. And as you get further to the south, this line is now moved through Tuscaloosa. Our Skycam you can really no longer see out of because the rain is coming down torrentially. Utah is in an interesting situation because it is in between two tornado polygons here, one for Moundville, so this includes parts of Greene County, parts of Hale, parts of Tuscaloosa County as well. This goes all the way towards the Bibb County line, has not been extended into Bibb County. There's no current warnings, but it will likely be extended here. And then you go to the south, Utah, you have a very heavy downpour there, possibly some strong gusty winds, but not in the tornado warning. We'll see if there's any indication here on velocity of these two circulations. Does not appear, and again, none of the circulations have looked overly promising. But you see these bright greens here. There's still strong winds coming in with these storms, and because of recent rains, this will take trees down. Got a number of pine trees in my backyard. I know exactly which ones, if it's coming through, are probably coming down. So again, just be wary of that. This wind event is going to hit everybody over the next couple of hours.
Yeah, let's take a look at WEXO 5 images if we can. These are some of the damage images coming in tonight. Tuscumbia took a pretty good hit. The shoals up around Florence, Sheffield, Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals. This is some structural damage in downtown Tuscumbia earlier tonight. The risk, by the way, for the shoals has ended. And again, most of the videos coming in tonight look pretty much the same. You can see those fierce winds and brief heavy rain. The heavy rain lasts for about 15 minutes. This is more tree and power line damage. Obviously, a power pole taken down there. You saw the outages earlier. The outages continue to increase across the state. And again, as the line comes through, you can expect down trees and power outages. Again, this is some more damage at a home here. A lot of folks are sending in images like this. A lot of trees have been blown down. Again, all of these images were captured across North and West Alabama as the line came through the last hour or so. There's some damage to utility fixtures there at a certain house up in Northwest Alabama. A lot of these state birds are flying tonight. These things are on the loose. Be aware. You might have a trampoline that you didn't have before. This is a church steeple that was blown over. I want to say this was over in Lamar County earlier tonight. And again, this is going to be some more video of what it looks like in Alabama tonight. Very strong winds. Again, the winds have been averaging 40 to 50 within the line. And with the ground saturated from the rain we had earlier this week, obviously the trees are coming down maybe easier than they typically would. And the other great concern is the fact that we just don't advise traveling tonight in that you don't want to be driving because a tree could be down across a road, a big tree. You don't see it, it's dark, there's no power, and you don't know it till you come right up on it. And that's never a good situation. Again, that's some of the structural damage in downtown Tuscumbia, up in Muscle Shoals tonight when the storms came through earlier. And again, this note from a lady in Muscle Shoals, she says, "That's my backyard and I do not own a trampoline." They have no idea where that thing came from, but it's been that kind of a night. There's a large tree down adjacent to a house. This tree actually came into a house up in Northwest Alabama earlier tonight. No injuries reported so far. And we've had trees that have been blown down on top of vehicles tonight. You'll see one here that was taken, I want to say, over in Lamar County. But let's go back to the radar. It's 12:36, and we've got the line of severe storms coming right through Tuscaloosa.